Welcome to Thursday, the 12th day of December, 2024. This Day Weather Podcast brought to you by Converse County Tourism. Douglas and Glen Rock, Wyoming are bustling with action this holiday season. Plan your excursion, including fun activities, beautiful downtowns, and historic treasures. Learn more at conversecountytourism.com. Well, it's basically yesterday all over again. We'll have some breezy areas. It'll be not as cold, and we're going to have a lot of those lenticular clouds, as it's been a lenticular show cloud-wise across the region here over the last couple of days. Today, probably a similar situation. We do have a small Pacific wave rolling through the region tomorrow. It doesn't have a lot of moisture with it. If it had more moisture with it, it would be a pretty good weather maker, but it's going to produce a little bit of weather. We'll show you where. A bit of a stronger wave comes through late Saturday and Sunday. Another wave comes through Tuesday and Wednesday. And as we've been mentioning, this is a good pattern for the mountains to get snow, but you're only going to get scattered snow on the plains. I do think for folks in Montana, North Dakota, South Dakota, your chances of snow will be a little bit higher, northern Wyoming as well. So the general trend is going to favor those mountain areas. And since these are Pacific systems, it won't get too cold as they will go on through. This also will lend itself to periods of wind. Strong jet stream aloft, and with the fact that these winds will be at times running perpendicular to the Continental Divide, we'll have occasional bouts of wind. So that's basically how it's going to go for the next 6 to 7 days. Great shots of clouds, especially the sunrises and sunsets with these lenticulars. And let's put this in motion. Jen Curtis put together a good time lapse here of the sunrise with those lenticular clouds yesterday. And one thing that you really notice is that they tend to want to be, based on what the wind direction is aloft, in the same or similar locations and just kind of park themselves there. And we'll show you here a satellite loop that will really put that in perspective for you. So if we were to put this in line here, you can see the northwest to southeast trend of these lenticular clouds. But notice where they're forming, they just stay there. That's why they're called standing lenticulars. They'll tend to just form in that same area right there. And here's another time lapse where you can really see that coming together. So the lenticular clouds all across the region yesterday, especially along and east of the divide. There's a great shot along Interstate 80 of those lenticulars, taking a look, instead of looking west towards them, looking from a westerly direction, looking to the east. Beautiful shot there from Estes Park. What will be happening with these Pacific waves? Well, you can really see them. Here's Friday's system. It looks fairly impressive, but it's going to kind of lose its muster as it heads east. But it will head east. There's another little wave up here. There's another little wave here. And there's waves all the way back up into here. They're just not big ones. They're just not going to come in and become that big four corners low. They're just going to kind of come through about every 2 days. Here's our 500 millibar chart this morning showing that one just off the coast of Northern California. You can see the big bowl of Arctic air here in the northern Great Lakes in the northeast. Take a look at these temperatures this morning. Around sunrise this morning or just before, these are the temperatures. Wherever you see the gray here, you're below zero. Where you see these bluer colors, you're far below zero. So if you're wondering where all the cold is, where's all the winter? Well, it's not that it's not happening in the U.S. It's just that the weather pattern right now is keeping everything to the east of the Rockies and the plains. That's the way it's been all season, really, and since Thanksgiving, and that's how it's going to go. Let's zoom in and take a look at these temperatures for Wisconsin, Minnesota, eastern North Dakota, all the way down even into northern Iowa. These are temperatures, this is not wind chill. That's how cold the air is. And look at the gradient. So you can see the gradient. Got sub-zero, got single digits, you've got teens. Then as you get into the Rockies, the Pacific air is nosing its way out and pushing against it. Also, you got to remember elevation plays a big role. As you go further west, your elevation goes up. Cold air wants to go to the lowest point of gravity, just like water does. So it's a natural situation that the cold air is going to go to where it's easiest to go. and that's into the northern plain states. And they are really shivering this morning and will here for the next couple of days. If you were to look at the temperature anomaly since December 1st for a good part of Canada and the U.S., you can see there's a lot of real estate that has had a colder than average December so far. But in the West, the warmth has dominated because the high pressure ridge has been sitting along the West Coast and in the interior, directing that cold air east. As we've shown you in previous videos, you've got to get the high to go more west out in the Pacific for this cold to come further west. And right now the pattern is for this part of the U.S. to be the coldest, and that's likely what's going to transpire. I did go back and look at where we are with current snow cover and compared it to a year ago. Current snow cover across the U.S. and North America looks like this. The orange is ice. The blue is snow, so you can see that just about all of Canada has got itself covered. And you can see the northern plains into the northeast here and the Great Lakes and the lake effect snows. A year ago, you might think, well, this year's been really warm and dry in many areas, and it has been. But if you compare to where we were a year ago, we actually have more snow cover in many areas this year than exactly the same time last year. And last year, look at that Chinook zone in Canada, where there was no snow cover up there in Alberta and Saskatchewan. But this year, those areas are all covered in snow. And that could play a role in what we talked about yesterday in January or February. So the wave comes through tomorrow, the one that's currently off the coast right now. And as we told you, it kind of loses its muster. It's going to take most of its rain and push it into the coast of Washington, Oregon, Northern California. And so we kind of get what's left, which won't be a lot. But if you're going to be traveling I-70, I-80, Utah, Colorado's I-70, the Utah-Wyoming I-80 corridor, there's going to be a little bit of snow shower activity tomorrow. So if you're traveling there, we may get more than the model is showing there. Again, nothing to write home about, but it is a little bit of a wave. And this is what the snow is going to do with this wave between now and Friday. Then we have this wave coming in late Saturday night and Sunday. Again, this will produce snow in the mountains, but it will also produce a little bit of snow for Montana, North Dakota, and northern Wyoming as it goes through, and it will pull in some colder air. Then we have another wave that's going to be coming through late Tuesday into Wednesday. The results are going to be the same. The mountains get snow. It gets windy along the wind-prone areas. You have some fluctuating temperatures, but you don't end up with a big storm, just several little ones. And this is the cumulative precipitation between now and next Wednesday. So you can see the mountains will be getting snow. Here's where the track of those little waves will produce more snow for Montana and the Dakotas, clipping maybe northern Wyoming, but it'll be the mountainous terrain that's going to be able to pick up the better moisture. Bit of a Chinook zone right here where the downsloping winds just erase any chance of that Pacific moisture doing much. When you have a flow like that that's from the west-northwest, you're going to get snow on the mountain slopes. You're going to get downsloped east of the mountains. So there's just not any really good pattern for you folks on the plains and your pastures for another week or so to be able to pick up any good moisture. A few showers could come off the mountains, yes, but nothing that's going to be able to be significant. And this is what the snowfall between now and Wednesday looks like as well. The northern plains will get some more snow. Southern Canada will get some more snow. The mountains will get some more snow. But if you're in this area here looking for snow, it's just almost impossible in this pattern to be able to really get much. Have yourself a good Thursday. We'll see you tomorrow.